What's up? Big ball brand, do what you want to do. Now, let's talk about it. And when I mean let's talk about it, I mean let's talk about this thing that should have been over in one day and we moved on to something else. This thing continuously is going and going and going, and it makes no sense. Why are we still talking about this Kristine Leahy chick who's upset because Lavar Ball didn't look her in the eye? He was not on the show for you. Lavar Ball did not do that. He didn't say, let me go in there and talk to her. You sit in the background while he's over there looking at Colin, because that's the person he's talking to is Colin. Colin Cowherd is who he's talking to. The show is called The Herd. The show is not called Kristine Leahy with Colin Herd. He does not need to address you. He doesn't need to say anything to you. If he doesn't want to, he's not on there to speak with you. He told you why. You should have left it at that. You knew what you said, but yet you don't want to address what you said and back that up. You want to make yourself the victim. I mean, he threatened me, and we look each other in the eye, and he's dismissive, and here it comes. Let me stop and stop for a second here, because I'm getting off track. There might be some people on this planet who might not know what in the world is going on. Well, yesterday on this show, Lavar Ball was promoting the shoe. He was on Fox doing his Fox run for the ZO2's Lonzo Ball shoe. Now, while he's talking big baller brand, he was on Undisputed. He ended up doing Colin Cowherd show, and he's sitting there, and as they going ahead doing the show, he's not talking to Kristine because of some of the show things that they said on this show that they do after this show is over, called Speak for Yourself, a show that nobody watches, but because of the fact they talk about Lavar Ball on the show, and it's basically Colin Cowherd and that Kristine girl, this Tony Whitlock, or Jason Witlock guy, and then you got Bashard on the show. And then they just get on there and just start talking about the show they just did. So anyway, they're on this show, they're talking, and she just, all like, I think I've seen fathers, and it's very rare where all three of the sons want to do what the father says do. I think he's making them play basketball, and they're afraid of him. So they're speculating that the kids are afraid of their fathers. What kid that you know who grew up in the household wasn't scared of their daddy? They be like, look, my daddy don't play. My daddy knocked me the next week. But she made it sound like it was a bad thing, criminal thing. Like, they're afraid. So she's pushing that agenda. And he watched this show. And on the show, they're pushing that agenda. So when he come on the show, he's not going to want to talk to you. He was like, that's why he's like, no, I'm afraid of her. She scared me. She going to sit there and say, like, I'm abusing my kids. That's what he meant by abuse. She's like, I never said you abused them. When you trying to say that, you think the kids are afraid of me. What are you implying? See, it's the misuse of words that's going way out of proportion in dealing with this situation. Now he gets the Whitlock, and he was like, oh, that guy, the only thing he should be commenting on is snacks. Which is funny, because you seen Tony Whitlock, snacks ain't probably too far away from his reach. Now, it's fitting because that guy's been taking shots at him also on the show. Talking about Lavar Ball. You know, I think he's an opportunist. I think he wants the fame. I think he loves this limelight. And I think he detracts more from his son than he helps him. But that's another discussion. This comes to him after this is over on the show. She tries to talk to him. He says, hey, stay in your lane. You stay over there. We over here talking. I'm talking to Colin. Stay in your lane. We ain't even talking to you. Well, I ain't got nothing to say to you. Like, you know what you said, and I don't really want to talk to you, basically. You're not going to look at me. You're just going to put your hand up at me. Then she tries to flip everything he says around to make herself the victim. You know, now he doesn't respect women because he won't look you in the eye. So now you are the spokesperson for every woman in the world. You know why he doesn't want to look at you. You know why he doesn't want to speak to you, because he don't like what you said. So rather than engage in conversation, he's not on the show to speak to you. He's on the show to speak to Colin. He wouldn't count on your show to speak to you because he doesn't have anything to say to you. But you want to spin this to we are every woman and get everybody else involved. So when that happened, then she tries to jump in on Witlock. Once he said that about the snacks. Oh, wow. So now you don't like women, you hate women, and now you talking about people who's fat. So now nope, I didn't say that. You know, that guy don't look like I'll work him out. But see, she's trying to twist every word he said, and he was like, I ain't worried about you. Something gonna come for you. Don't worry about it. And he tried to say karma, but he just didn't say that. And so what are you threatening me now? And that's what it sounded like to me, like a threat. Now, after this is over, they go on the show, and she just couldn't let it rest. All through the show, see, they're on the show, and look, they're looking at me. They're acknowledging me, like real people supposed to do. That's respect. And then here comes Witlock on the show. There's the same thing, with like, to me, it's like racism, and like this is just him putting a hand in her face by telling her to stay in the place. To me, that's like stay in the kitchen. Telling her to stay in the kitchen. That's sexist. Now you're labeling. Okay, so you're not even taking what he actually said and what he meant. Now you want to take it to what you think it means. So in your mind, when you see that, you think it's stay in the kitchen. So if that's your case, then maybe she should be in the kitchen. Did he say she's a great reporter? You didn't mention the fact Lavar Ball says she's a great reporter, just not reporting on me. Nobody put that up there, but you said stay in your lane means stay in the kitchen. That's kind of like saying stay in the kitchen. I'm quite sure you was in the kitchen though, Witlock, a lot. But we ain't gonna go there with you. That ain't the main problem. You do that, and then you try to turn that. See, that's to me, that's like like sexism. Like discriminating her because of her sex. How did you spin that into that? He disliked what she said. He disliked what you said. So what is this sexism with you too? I don't think he would have put his hand in my face and told me to stay in my lane. I think he would have told you to stay in your lane. So I don't think he would have been on your show, one, but he definitely would have told you to stay in your lane because you way out of pocket. Now the thing is, then he tries to relate this to racism. Because somebody treated me like that, I'll be like, whoa, is this because I'm black? No, because you a stupid, kiss, boot-licking person I've ever seen in my life, you big dummy. Trying to kiss up to this blonde. Oh, my God. Witlock, boy, I want to put him in a wrist lock. Listen, let me tell you about yourself. You're going to talk about Charlemagne because Charlemagne, one who, yeah, he did go too far, bringing up Emmett Till and all this stuff. He just want to jump on a train that's rolling.
oh, she tried to play the victim. So I got to go with everybody on Twitter because Black Twitter said, she the devil and she trying to switch this and trying to play the victim card. So I got to give her donkey of the day because my Twitter followers going to jump on my throat. So yeah, this kind of like what Emmett Till did with the white woman. First off, you don't know nothing about Emmett Till. You don't know what the white woman did. Them dudes could have killed him. They had nothing to do with no white women. You don't even know what happened. So stop trying to use painful things that happened in the past and try to make an analogy for something that happened on a show that had no implications of nothing. Okay? She was wrong just because she was wrong. And this is a problem in society. She was wrong because she started projecting instead of listening to what a person's actually saying. And the same thing Whitlock was doing, you're projecting, talking about he's saying, oh, stay in the kitchen. No, that's what you're saying. That's not what he said. You are projecting that and you're trying to manipulate the masses to believe that. Now you're trying to turn it into a sexist thing instead of what it really is. Him responding back to what y'all said negatively against him on this show that nobody seems to watch, but he watched it. And there it is. It was said. So he didn't like her because of what she said. It didn't have nothing to do with her sex. It had nothing to do about her being blonde. It had nothing to do with her being ugly. And to me, she's ugly. But no, it has nothing to do with the situation whatsoever. It has something to do with what she said. Period. You know that. She knew that. She wants to play the victim because she's getting fame off of it and talking about she's been threatened. Nobody's threatening you. You're not a threat to anybody. So why would anybody even threaten you? You're just hurt because you was dismissed. He was dismissive to her because he didn't have to speak to her. There's no written rule that said he had to speak to her. He was not on her show. I don't see her name nowhere on there where it says Colin Cowherd. It says the herd. He spoke to Colin. He was not sitting at a panel that had you up there. If he comes on Speak for Yourself and then he doesn't want to speak to you, that's something that could have been addressed when the show first started, before they even went on. He came on there to speak to Colin. He did not acknowledge you before the show, on the show, and now you like, oh, you got a problem with me? Like, why wouldn't he? So that's one thing I want to talk about. And I was going to make this a whole separate video, but I'm going to go ahead and address it on this video right here now. Let's go while the boat is in motion. Colin Cowherd. This is for you specifically. On this show, when all of this is going down, Colin Cowherd, he's laughing. He is not coming to the aid to defend Kristine on any of this stuff on the herd. He's going right back to the questions. He's thinking that, hey, there's no threat here. He is not bothered with any of this whatsoever. And he even says it on the show, like, hey, if she knows how to, go to navigate through this thing, and she's, that's why I work with her, because she knows how to deal with it. If she gets herself in trouble, she knows how to deal with it. If somebody comes up and she says something, and they approach her on it, she's got to know how to go back at them. I can't come in there and bail her out or come to her aid in the situation. It's up for Kristine to do that. Then he actually agreed with a lot of the stuff that Lavar Ball was saying. Well, she was talking about marketing to women, which I think, yeah, of course you want to market to women, you want to market to everybody. But she's saying in order to be a successful brand, wrong. Not all brands are like that. Jordans, as we always said, Jordans, they didn't make shoes for women for a long time. They didn't cater to women, and they came out just fine. Victoria's Secrets, do you think they cater for men? That's a woman's business. Not all brands are made to select for both women and men, and this it's not like that. It could grow to that, but you want to start off with the men. That's who they want to promote it to, the men. Later down the road, they might have baby shoes. The little baby shoes are next. Then the women's shoes will be next. Let them make their money and make their brands the way they want to. What's that? Tommy Boy, same thing. They cater to men. People ask them why they wouldn't cater to women. They said, look, it's not a way we want to promote. We want to promote to women. I mean to men. We don't want to promote to women, period. That's not our thing. That's not our market. It's a flooded market, and we're not trying to jump in it. We're gonna stay in our boat and our what we're doing with for the men. So that's why Tommy Boy did what they did. They came out with Tommy Girl later on down the road. So you can't say he can't have a successful business. He needs to have women in order to have a successful business. He needs to promote them. That's not true. So you're basically not doing any research. You're just saying something that's feminist to just throw out in the public. And it's gotten me upset because I hate when people play this card when they're full of it. And Colin went on that show, Speak for Yourself, sat right there in that chair and took back everything he just said on the show that he just did 20 minutes earlier. Backtracked and took every word that he said back to pat this chick on the back of the head like, I got your back now, don't worry. Now he went to, well, he didn't think it was a sexist remark to now he was like, well, you can't insult the guest. You can't. That was a little disrespectful, putting the hands up and all of this stuff. You didn't address him on his show. Only time you said something is when he said something about Whitlock's weight. Well, that might be a little too far. That might be a little too much. Hey, he the one started it. He the one started throwing stones. I'm just throwing back. Colin had no problem with it. Colin Cowherd was on point until he got on that show, Speak for Yourself. Now he's talking about, where there's a threat, it could have been taken. First he said it wasn't a threat. Then I guess that wasn't good enough. Now he's got to say it was a threat. Now he's got to go around. He's like, well, I don't think what he did was a threat. And Jason Witlock, oh, come on. No, that's a threat. And now it's sexism and, well, that was dismissive and disrespectful, and that's why I like working with her because she's such a great reporter. She can do this and that. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, Colin. It is not hard to find work or find somebody to do her job. Believe me, it's not. You can find her on YouTube somewhere. Listen, I just don't like superficial, snobby chicks who's probably been put in position, and here's my projection, because daddy made a way for you. Now, I'm done with this, hopefully. But I don't think they're done with this because this is the biggest attention that show has ever gotten. Speak for Yourself. Because nobody even knew probably this show even existed until this incident happened. So we'll see what happens after this because I know Whitlock gonna still be running his mouth. And let's see if she's gonna shut up now or she's gonna still keep running her mouth because Lavar is not speaking on it. And as he doesn't need to. So let it just die down and let her just keep flapping her gums and play the victim card. I've been threatened. My life is in shambles. I've been threatened. I can't go to sleep at night. Let her milk it for what all it's worth. Because when it's all said and done, she will be forgotten about. I'm out.